Well, we have one of our own with us here today at Inside Bristol. We've got Jack Dunham, and he is here to talk to us about needing your help. All of us at home, we need you to pull out some of your old photo albums or old storage boxes and storage units all over town that may have some old photos of Bristol.
Right.
We are on a mission to collect old photographs.
We're collecting old photographs. We've had great response so far. I'm seeing pictures I didn't think I would ever see. We're looking at, I was actually watching a episode of Flip This House, and the parents had died, the kids were selling the house, and they sold it as is. Well, there's workers throwing out boxes of pictures, and I'm thinking, what in the world are they throwing away? And that has to happen around here too. It happens everywhere. We're looking for pictures mostly of not so much people, but buildings and the way Bristol used to look, or maybe pictures of working. I've found pictures of Black Diamond employees working. Didn't have anything like that. Bristol was a huge textile industry center, and I now have pictures of textile workers, and I didn't have before.
So now what are we doing with all of these pictures?
We want to make them available to anybody who wants them. So if there's copyright concerns, this isn't for that. We're going to put them up on our Flickr site. We'll use them when we do historical things for the city, for this station. We use a lot of those pictures. And Bristol has really changed. I mean, urban renewal took out so much on the Virginia side. We both worked at Channel 5. Channel 5 is setting right in the middle of what used to be Glitter Gulch. I mean, it was hotels everywhere, restaurants everywhere.
It's amazing.
Bristol was a railhead, so if you're heading north from Atlanta, you're on Southern, but Southern didn't go past the Tennessee line. So you get off the train in Bristol, get on Norfolk and Western, go on to New York or Washington. A lot of times the trains didn't sync up, so people would have to spend the night here. So there were hotels everywhere. And it was just a
different time.
A different time. And we're looking for pictures of that.
And you had shown me some that you've already gotten of Holston.
Yeah, of Big Creek, which is something we were looking for. I've heard several things. You know, I hear stories of things. I heard that there wasn't a rail line there. There actually was. And Big Creek was on, when you're standing on the dam and you're looking at the lake, those coves to the right was Big Creek. And I didn't realize how big it was till I started getting these pictures. And it's pictures of people standing on docks and, you know, all these paths and beautiful cabins everywhere. And it was gorgeous. I didn't know it existed.
Well, and you are the person to come to ask about all of these stories. It amazes me always for you to show me some of the pictures you have and some of the stories that you find that go along with them. It's really incredible.
A lot of stories. The one thing I'm looking for, I found out that Hotel Fairmount, huge hotel where the Barker Mansion now sits, burned down around the turn of the century. Supposedly pictures of that are the Holy Grail. We have none. We have drawings.
Okay.
And the hotel,
somebody might have one of those.
Right, exactly. The hotel actually did an advertising campaign where they had people draw, obviously artists, draw the hotel, draw the interior. I don't know why they didn't use pictures because there were pictures available back then. And there was also a Tennessee train depot that burned down around the Civil War. Of course, that picture would be incredible. We don't have anything like that.
So now what are the time frames that you're really looking the most for with these pictures?
Well, of course, from the beginning of when pictures were made, which is, 1855, something like that. They're going to be very rare. They had to be made on glass plates. Those would have to be transferred, which makes them almost impossible to find, but if there is any. Around the time of the 27 recordings, so 1927, around that era, basically black and white. If it's black and white, we probably want it. There's some color pictures that are interesting. There's postcards where they would take a black and white picture and color the card.
Oh, okay.
So that sort of thing is interesting. But if just anything that would be considered interesting, and like I say, if you're worried about, Uncle Charlie taking pictures that he wouldn't want to share, we don't want those pictures. We want everybody, especially kids that are doing a project, to be able to download pictures from.
Right.
And a lot of these pictures I'll just get lost in, especially aerials and shots of the downtown. And you just start looking at them, and you look up, it's 30 minutes later, and you just, it's amazing how different Bristol looked. But in a lot of ways, it looks the same. I mean, the streets are the same and everything. So
It's amazing. I love what you're doing. So hopefully we'll get a good response. And if we do, and you have something like this at home, what should they do with these photos? How do we get in touch with you?
My email here is jdunham@bristoltn.org. You can call the Department of Community Relations, which is 764-4171. It's the same department Darlene was on earlier in the show. We don't want the originals. We want to scan them in, or if you can scan them in, that would be great. We're not looking to come to somebody's house and they've got like 4 boxes of pictures and let's get started. But if you need us to scan a picture in for you or a few pictures, we'll be glad to do that. But we, and of course you take the original back. We're not wanting to take anybody's. We're just wanting a copy of it.
That's great.
So.
Well, Jack, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you all for joining us. And I also want to welcome our new producer to the show, Angie Rutherford. She did a great job with today's lineup. So that's all for today at Inside Bristol. We'll see you next time.